Hi, I'm Mike Karp, Principal Analyst with Ptak, Noel and Associates. And today we've got a really interesting topic. We're going to talk around the issue of the VCE announcements of their new V-Block machines. As you are perhaps aware, the V-Blocks are machines that integrate hardware, software, virtualization, networking, storage. They're part of in the industry that is moving towards vertical stacks. The upside of vertical stacks, of course, is that they are pre-configured, and therefore, because they come pre-configured from the factory, and presumably pre-tested, you get quick time to value because they're up and running in a relatively short period of time. And that, of course, the other side of the good coin is that they are also relatively easy to manage. Again, because the system is a strictly bounded system, so things get complicated, but in a mathematical sense, they're certainly not complex. As we look at today's announcements, we have to keep in mind that this trend, which we've seen in various guises for a while now, with machines coming from Oracle, from IBM, to some degree from HP, and from one or two other vendors, that there's always a pushback from data center managers when they first look at these, because although they like the idea of integration, and certainly integration is first and foremost what these are all about, there's also a concern about vendor lock-in, the vendor lock-in issue. Don't be overly concerned about that, folks. Vendor lock-in is certainly a possibility, something you and your contract managers have to talk about. But in all honesty, the amount of money that can be saved by getting a machine that is more reliable and one that shows a faster time to value is nothing to be sneezed at. And particularly if you manage the relationship with the vendor properly, you have a good chance of coming out way ahead with something like this. Well, let's take a look at the machine and see where this is going.
All V-Block systems come with a set of well-integrated components. These include compute capability, networking, storage, virtualization software, and management software. Going from left to right on this diagram, you see the newly introduced systems 100 and 200. And the two existing systems, the 300 and 700, that have had midlife kickers, pretty substantial ones apparently, that allow VCE to claim a 2x performance improvement. The system on the right, however, the so-called specialized system, may be the most interesting of the bunch. Expect to see a family of specialized systems. The first out of the box is a system specifically designed to support SAP Hana. In case you're a hardware person and not all that familiar with Hana, Hana is a major departure in database design. It's been around since, I guess, its earliest stage was about 2 years ago. The key thing to remember is that it is entirely memory resident, which is to say the database is kept in memory. The query engine is in memory, and in addition to that, it has a text analysis engine that is kept in memory. This means several things, the three most important of which are, first, that a HANA application will be able to compare both structured and unstructured data. Second, because data and analysis and query is all done in memory, expect things to happen in real time or very near real time, which may have interesting implications when it comes to understanding streaming data. And finally, any box that is going to support this kind of environment is going to have a whale of a lot of memory plus solid-state devices in it. Expect the specialized V-Blocks to begin shipments in April in 4 and 8 node configurations. I think it's reasonable to assume that we'll see at least 8 terabytes of memory in each machine.
A few final notes. Clearly, VCE isn't going to have the field to itself when it comes to supplying platforms for memory resident applications, and particularly in terms of SAP Hana, there already are some other oars in the water here. Expect to see IBM providing support. Don't be at all surprised if we see some of the big iron vendors. I'm thinking now of both Hitachi and Fujitsu also playing here. It's not likely that Oracle, Exadata, is going to support this. Oracle and SAP don't seem to be getting along that well these days. But there's going to be plenty of competition in the field. Perhaps most interestingly, from the standpoint of this announcement, expect possible competition from EMC itself in the guise of its Green Plum analysis appliance. We'll have to see how this shakes out. It's a big field. There's room for a lot of players here. Expect the ones I've already mentioned to be there, and don't be at all surprised to see others as well. IBM's Pure Systems claim on their website 4 hours from the time you roll it onto the computer room floor until the time it's up and running. Yesterday's announcement by Pat Gelsinger, CEO of VMware, referenced a week to get it up and running. Now, the difference between the 4 hours and the week that Pat Gelsinger referred to, if you'll forgive my bistro math, is approximately a difference of 42 to 1. Don't be upset by this. Doesn't necessarily mean that the EMC devices are slower or more difficult to configure. More likely, what it indicates is that the IBM 4-hour system and the vBlock 7-day system are really not an apples-to-apples comparison. There are all sorts of reasons why. My guess is if you're watching the this video blog that you're at least as familiar with them as I am. These are significantly complicated systems, and it's difficult to compare both systems without having an opportunity to look at both. So don't be upset by the extra time that that apparently the vBlock takes. That may simply be an example of comparing different systems, and of course we should never have the same expectations for different systems. It's inappropriate to benchmark these two times against one another, because after all, it might be like benchmarking a Chevy and a Ferrari. And I have no idea which of these two is which. Probably they're both Ferraris. Well, that's it. Thank you for watching this video blog from Ptak Noel. I'm Mike Karp. I look forward to speaking to you again soon.